And with many enemies.
The elevator opens for no one.
The Boston Red Sox.
And plans on making me.
The mayor of Boston. The governor of Massachusetts.
I'm paralyzed into you.
Boston Globe.
And plans on making me.
It's a war.
And plans on making me.
We're going to battle it out.
We'll sit there.
Everyone looks like everyone.
My dick's so big doesn't even matter. He's 2 feet tall.
Nobody will get in trouble. Now, of course, everybody's going to kill each other after watching.
He's gonna fucking open his mouth, it'll fall right in.
You're too busy to accept it.
And it is going to be, when it's done, the most successful podcast in the history of mankind.
And we already met.
Listen, there's only 1 minute fan show.
Everyone looks like everyone.
It's right here.
Why was it on me first? Come on. This ain't the Brando show.
All right, we're live. Thanks, Brando. We are live for another episode of Kirk. Tonight we're going to get into actually a historic episode. It's called Funky Cold Medina, and it aired originally May 1st, 2020. But before we get into that, I'd like to thank the panel and introduce them. Thank you guys for hopping on in the top right. Murchison's Mouse, how we doing?
I'm doing well. My pleasure to be here.
Great. It's a great mic, great studio, looking good. Steve Snell, bottom left-hand corner. The folks haven't heard from you in a while. Steve, what's new?
Long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's been a little while, but I'm always around. I just don't hang out on Twitter anymore now that Kirk doesn't have a show, so I don't see the reason to. But yeah, I love doing this stuff. We should do this more often.
I hear you, and it's probably not probably a smart move to stay off Twitter, to be honest. And bottom right corner, Brando. How are we doing tonight, Brando?
I can't complain, Fred. I appreciate you having me on, and it's good to see some familiar faces.
Absolutely.
That was the most awkward fucking intro from the four of us ever. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Run it back, PRC.
Yeah, it feels like this is like a Zoom meeting for work or something.
We're rusty.
Hey, it's always good to get a crew together to talk about old KMS shit. So glad to be here. Like we did last time, we'll try to give honor to Danny and Daver, who this program was launched by, and they did a great job for a long time. So we'll try to do them justice. Before we hop into the episode, recent KMS stuff that's going on. It's not too much. There's not a show actively. Maybe every couple of weeks they pop in here and there. Tickets for Laconia sold out, record sellout. But the most recent thing that's going on is, unless you've been living under a rock, you could turn on your toaster and see this Mutt stuff. Mutt, if for those unaware, Mutt is in the Portnoy vortex. He's got UConn humming into the Final Four. He's basically doing everything he can to make Portnoy happy. Brando, where are we on the recent Mutt stuff? What are you thinking?
Well, first off, I just want to say, Mutt, I'm very hurt. You know, he didn't give me a call. He came into the great state of Connecticut, the basketball capital of the world. You know, it's been interesting. I mean, Mutt gets thrust into this. You know, Kirk gets him the job and helps him out, and now he's off and running. You know, no matter if it's by accident, on purpose, or what have you. You know, Mutt's gonna produce something interesting.
Snell, have you been paying attention to the Mutt stuff at all?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I know that's awful of me, but I do have a Mutt take. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I sent this is a little bit, and you can get a little insight into my fucking psyche. Okay. I ran into him at the last live show, and he knew who I was. So I was like, you know what? I have to like this guy. He fucking knows who I am, right? And so when he got the job at Barstool, I sent him the old like, hey, congratulations on the job at Barstool. I know you're getting a lot of these messages. You don't have to respond to this. And the motherfucker never responded, and I haven't liked him really since. I'm not gonna lie. I say that ashamedly, but that's just the fucking truth of it. I was a Mutt guy, and now when Kirk torches him, I don't fucking feel bad for him anymore. So that's
I'll
how
tell you what.
I'm not a huge Mutt fan historically or even currently, but I was happy for his win today because it was just looking sad and pathetic, and I think that this might be the beginning of maybe a good little run for him, because if this goes well and he doesn't make a fool of himself in the box at UConn with Dave, maybe he gets a chance to go down to the Kentucky Derby, and that's a huge win for Mutt. And so maybe this is a beginning of a winning streak for him.
Yeah, and Snell, you are one of hundreds of people that Mutt has not replied to for messages.
Left unread, right?
Infamous.
and that's on me. That's on me. It's a me issue. I get, like, I'll admit it, it's a me issue, but it's like that's just how I feel about it. Fuck them.
and Steve, just so you know, Portnoy tweeted, "Hey, Mutt, you can come to the Final Four with us and sit in the box if you get the UConn head coach to do a video shout out and plead your case."
I did see this. I did attempt to get a little bit caught up today. I did. I saw this.
That's
okay,
good,
so I do know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
All right.
so he got Danny Hurley on the way to the bus, and he did say he endorses Mutt to go to Indy. So good for him.
It looked like a pathetic scene. I'll just say that. It looked like, like that must have been a sad scene for Mutt, just to be standing there waiting, like panic in his gut, like his intestines must have been in knots. Just hoping,
what a big win for it. It was like probably the greatest moment, second, third greatest moment of his life, standing there next to that guy and having that happen when it ultimately came to happen.
That dude is so insecure. I don't know how he shits regularly. He must be a fucking mess. Like, he must just explode the fucking toilet all the time, just blowing it to smithereens.
It's crazy how time flies. Someone yesterday tweeted out the Monkey Boy song that Mutt was on EEI from like 9 years ago, and he was crawling around the studio trying to get ratings at EEI, and now he's going to be sitting with Portnoy at the Final Four. It's just a crazy world we're in.
Well,
Where
think
is it
about where are they? Indianapolis?
Yes.
Yeah, but think about it. Like a year ago, he's at Mohegan Sun with
oh my God, the bomb!
Shander, and now he's getting a shout out from Dan Hurley, and he's going to the Final Four with Dave Portnoy. I mean,
he could have had this
in
job.
a year.
He could have had that job 2 years ago, but he was too proud to do it. So too stupid.
I'm not sure proud is the right word.
Do you think it's better for him to do poorly or to actually do well?
I know that's a funny question, Brando, because he's failed into all of this crap over and over and over. So that's an interesting. I don't know. I think he's gonna have a couple wins here, maybe, because he's like a laughing stock on Pick Central. They're like, "Oh, did you hear that mustache story?" And it's just like he's been well beneath Clemmer now, in the sort of pecking order of mockable people.
Yeah, that's tough.
I know. Yeah.
It's tough on you if you take it too seriously. He needs to learn to not take it too seriously and just go with the flow. Be the butt of the joke, whatever, and just
right. I know.
Keep cashing your checks every 2 weeks.
Yeah, he should show up with his he show up in the sweatsuit, with his head like a basketball.
Oh, by the way, is there any doubt that what Kirk is saying is absolutely true? Like, you can tell when he denies what Kirk heard him say. Oh, he definitely said that.
Yeah, the goofy thing is tough.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know who to believe.
Yeah, the lines get blurred a lot of the time,
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be a bit. I know that for sure. So we can hop into the episode here. So the episode, like I said, it's called Funky Cold Medina. It's from May 1st, 2020. And just to put some context around the episode, it was like a couple weeks into COVID. So like the lockdowns were starting to take place. The KMS crew never really skipped a beat. They maybe missed a week here, in the very beginning when they all came back from Mississippi after Clemmer gave them all COVID. But
right.
after that, they were all in studio pretty much every day. It was a tight crew. It was just Steve, Mike, and Kirk. But kudos to them for keeping us entertained. Us assholes. So we appreciate that. One note. So I did tweet this episode is on the KMS Classics YouTube, but that version has 3 songs edited out of it. So if you are going to go back and re-listen, I recommend finding the link that I tweeted out. It is a site that Fax either built or found, I don't know, when he was an intern. And it has all the old episodes, and those songs are not edited out of that version. So I would recommend listening to it that way.
Parody songs were cut, or
They were.
They were. Yep.
Some type of copyright strike, maybe, or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know how that works on a
karaoke
parody
version.
song. Yeah, on a parody song, I don't know how that works, but yeah, Justin was, I guess, covering his ass when he uploaded them.
Mm.
So if you have re-listened, good, you'll be prepared. But if you haven't, so more context, this episode aired, it was the day after the Cullen episode came out. So everyone here knows this, but they did an episode parodying Kevin Cullen as a beat reporter, and they did a full 45 minutes of just a scripted podcast. And they came in the next day, and it was very clear how Kirk thought of it. Kirk thought it was the most genius thing that's ever been put on podcast form, and he wasn't taking any criticism. I was curious what you guys thought on listening back, how Kirk took the reception for that episode, because they did talk about that episode for the first 20 or 30 minutes.
So I thought I at first I sort of thought it was funny because I think Kirk is always so great about people having different tastes, whether it be music or books or movies or things. He's just like, if people don't like the stuff I like, it doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't surprise me because there's no accounting sort of for taste. But it's the effort involved, I think, with what he did, and the script writing involved, and then the pulling together of all the pieces. It was so sort of personal, and the effort was so much. I think he was. I think it was, some of it was performative, where he was going over the top and, I'm going to pay you $50,000 not to listen to it, and all that stuff. But I can see. I thought it was fair. He worked really hard on it. It was something unique. It was interesting. It was like an old time sort of radio show back in the 50s, The Shadow or something like that, with all these characters and the music in there. It was. I think it was so personal for him that I don't give him any trouble for the way he reacted. I think that because I loved Colin, absolutely loved it. I've listened to it probably 10 times. It kills me when Cullen is talking in the very beginning and then they drop in with Bad Company right at that right moment. It is just, it is incredible. I think that episode is great. I don't know how anybody doesn't like it. And yeah, I don't give Kirk any trouble for being a little touchy about it.
Snell, Brando, whoever.
Go ahead, Snell.
Well, I think my biggest takeaway when I first listened to it was definitely what Murchison just said, but also kind of what Mike says in this episode, where he says like one line and they briefly talk about it for a few seconds, that there is definitely something there with Kirk and his writing ability. Right. And I think it would be very interesting, like, for him to, like, obviously I don't want him to go away. I'm also pissed at him for going away as much as he has already, but like for him to just go away, disappear, and create something, whatever it is, whether it's a book or something like that, like maybe it's comedy or something serious, or write a screenplay. Like, I can only imagine the type of crazy shit that he could come up with and interesting stuff. Like his book, even though I necessarily wouldn't have been interested in the genre, like his book sounded so fucking weird and interesting. Like I definitely would have read it, even if I wasn't a Kirk Minahan fan. So, and then you look at the case and how much work he's done with that, and yeah,
that's script writing there too, right? Those all the pieces he wrote,
In a way,
putting together a documentary.
In a way, this was a mini prelude to the case, right? Where He
Yeah,
pulled all
right.
these things together. He wrote the script, and they compounded it all into one episode. Whereas the case is, 8 episodes or whatever, so it's a little more drawn out. But it's in a way like the same style,
Yeah.
delivery.
He
One
should
last
hit those
thing.
idiots up in New York, those guys that they try to do their sort of sitcom-y thing, less mascots, and when they're they should hit Kirk up to write an episode for those guys. That'd be great.
Hey, it's an untapped resource at Barstool. They don't
Sure.
they don't use him as much as they should.
So one last thing, I think, before I'm done on this, one of the things that immediately stands out when you start listening to this episode is just how fucking good it sounds, like the audio quality in general, how like the microphones, how even everyone is. No one's louder than the other one,
Totally.
and also the quality of the production of Cullen. Because I went back and briefly kind of listened to the episode because I kind of forgot a lot of the jokes that they were referencing. And just the production quality from Robinson on that
Yeah.
alone, like I love Justin, but like the current Dave Justin crew wouldn't have no fucking chance, like not even a fucking prayer to do anything like that.
Yes,
And
he
that's
was
the
such
difference between a professional producer
Right.
and
Right.
someone you just like having in the studio like Justin and Dave.
Right.
Yeah,
And
he
that
was such an adult, right? And he had lived such an independent, interesting, sort of hardworking, driven life, and he was a really hardworking guy, and he did a lot. He did a lot for Kirk. That they did sound great. So that's a good catch.
And the
and
drops, he's there with the drops, the cuts, like, oh, you want, like, oh, Steve's an anti-Biden guy, so of course he's gonna have Biden cuts just fucking ready to go. Just shit like that, you forget how integral that can be to the show. And Kirk, you can tell Kirk doesn't want to fucking listen, but he's like, Steve, just let it rip. I know you want to do it. Let's go.
that's why he's the greatest to ever do it for the show, in my
Nice.
opinion.
Nice, Brando.
He's just on another level, production level. Someone who could give it back to Kirk, who could go back and forth, and Kirk. So, go ahead, Fred.
Brando, I was going to ask you reactions to, sort of the way Kirk introduces it and talks about the reception of Cullen.
Well, I think it's classic Kirk. He's playing it up. He's saying, if you don't like this, you're an idiot or you don't like the show, which I agree with to some regard. But I remember liking it, but I wasn't over the top about it. I absolutely loved it. I just liked the show, and it was definitely a curveball, and it was enjoyable, but it wasn't my favorite thing of all time. But I can also see the genius of it and all the little tidbits from the show and the jokes woven in, and the production quality itself was amazing. But I just remember, maybe I have to revisit it. I remember it being good, just not amazing. I mean, I don't know if that's hearsay.
There were a lot of there's some merit to that because there were a lot of characters and a lot of moving pieces, and it was hard to follow at times if you only listened once and you didn't quite follow the storyline and pay super close attention. So I think it's one of those things where you got to listen once or twice. But what Kirk did say in the episode is genius is not often appreciated as it's happening. Right. So here we are 6 years later to talk about it, to appreciate the genius that, that existed,
Brando, were you a fan? Were you a fan right from the beginning? A listener right from the beginning? Yeah, I'm surprised that you. Yeah, that's.
Maybe, you know what, in their defense, in Kirk's defense, this is back when I'm drinking a lot, and I remember starting the episode and falling asleep, probably more passing out than falling asleep, so maybe there's something to that, and I don't know if that just soured me on it and I didn't go back. I probably have to listen to it, another time or two to appreciate it fully.
I know. I'm gonna go back and listen to it tomorrow now at work. It'll be this will be fun.
Oh, it's great.
It is good, and the feedback was mostly positive, but as they said, there was one turd in the punch bowl. One person stuck out as the critic and the intentionally against the grain person, and that was Menners. Like even 6 years ago, he was the one saying that it sucked and he didn't like it. It wasn't for him. Like, of
I'm
course,
gonna float that to you.
PRC, you got a clip for it?
Non-professional producer. I'm going to float that quote in for you, or that clip of Menners.
Let's do it.
Thank you, sir.
We said that about the Hammer. I disagree. If you listen to that show and you're a fan of this show,
Yeah.
who cares if you like Cullen or not? This has nothing to do really. Like, it's a fucking
Right.
parody of 80s television. Like, it's not even really.
Right, but I'm saying if he doesn't even like us speculate, like doing the fake scenes and talking about Bad Company playing, then obviously he's not going to like it.
But that's my fucking sense of humor, though. Like,
Right.
that's what I do.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
That sense of humor goes everywhere else. So I'm just saying for your own sake, go listen to others. Go listen. There's a great podcast right that just came out. So this woman in Australia is 36 pounds. She hasn't eaten in 4 months. She worked.
Oh, that's a super deep cut, right? Like they talk about all the deep cuts in Cullen. Like that's a real deep cut. No, he hasn't even said his
Good
name
line.
yet.
Yeah,
Talking
that's a
about
great
the
line.
2 good eggs closing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuff that those people went through at that restaurant.
Mostly positive feedback. Menners was the outlier. Like, no shock there. There were like they mentioned there were like 30 different participants that they got sound from, and so it was a bunch of Minifans that at the time it was people that were doing stuff on the network. And
I had a role.
I was going to ask if you did, Merch. What was
I forget who I was. That's why I got to go back and listen tomorrow. But yeah, I did have a speaking part. I was so happy. I was so pleased with myself. Oh yeah, I couldn't believe when Steve reached out. I was like, "Oh my god, yes, of course!" I sent him like 9 different versions of my 8 words that I had to say.
And this was before they really involved Minifans in anything.
Yes,
there was a huge separation back then between the show and then the Minifans. Even if they were on the network or doing whatever, like they were thankful that they were doing it, but they didn't really get involved too much in the show. So
yeah,
it was,
until I broke that barrier. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, the
Jackie Robinson.
Yes,
fair
enough. Were there any voices that you heard listening back to Cullen as a cameo that you were like, "Oh, there's John from Scranton. Oh, there's so and so."
No, I can't. I haven't listened back. I do want to hear John from Scranton being. Who was he? Was he Bill? Was he Bill O'Reilly? Or
I got you. Villain.
Let's play the clip.
Oh, he was Brian.
Oh yeah.
He gave me, I want to say, 4 or 5 takes on that.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's always next time.
I thought it was great.
But yeah, it was funny. And there's lines where I think if you listen again, you can listen 2 or 3 times or once, I don't care. But I think there are a couple lines that when you listen to, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that time, and that time.
Yeah.
But hey, look, I was supposed to say it's not for everyone. It should be for. It should be. I don't say this a lot. You know that. If you didn't like the Hammer, I get it. If you don't like our episodes, you don't like our interviews, I might get worked up, but I understand.
Yeah, like I said,
if this was my favorite show, and you've been following me for years throughout the whole Cullen thing and this and that, and I gave you this yesterday, if you don't like that, I gotta say, I hate to say it.
What does he hate to say?
What a cliffhanger! What a cliffhanger!
Right after that, he basically obviously says like "fuck the fans."
We got storms. My internet is like iffy, so
I'll finish the clip. All right. So basically, he says like, "Yeah, whatever."
He basically says, "Get the fuck out."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Steve, typical fucking Steve, right? Immediately says, "Well, no. They don't have to get the fuck out." In other words, like just wanting to milk us for all we're fucking worth.
Yeah.
Like, no. Don't tell him to leave. Don't tell him to leave.
Yeah, so that was a little nice nostalgia to re-listen to that portion of it. Brando, before I transition to the next bullet point, are you straight from the gym here? You are red as a fucking.
I know, yeah, you are.
I took a shower right before this, and putting these headphones on, I don't know what it is. It always makes me like way too hot.
Traps all the heat in your ears.
Yeah, and I like to wear them because it's better. But yeah.
I'm not this pale, actually, but I got this white light on me, and it makes me look like a fucking vampire.
No gym tonight. Rest day.
Gotcha. Anything else on the reaction to the Cullen episode before we switch topics? Sort of put a bow on how they presented that, Kirk's genius and all the above.
If only.
Go ahead, Snell.
No, go ahead. I talked too much.
I'm looking forward to listening back and hearing that little, just that Justin commercial that they talk about, where he said it was like exclusive to AM radio or something from the Staples Center. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow.
I just wish Menners was, as much as he can be like that guy that just stands on his principles, which is a bit, obviously. And I love Menners, but he's obviously a bit boy. I just wish when that cricket superstar was just ramming his cock down his throat publicly the other day, he had that type of backbone that he has to go after Kirk. I wish he had that in that moment, because when push came to shove, he just bent over and let that cricket legend. I mean, who doesn't know what a legend that guy is? Just stick it right up his ass, and I enjoyed that. But I'm a Menners guy. He's always been great to me, but I'm a Menners guy. I enjoyed the fuck out of
you let on earlier.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of that. Just like you would if it was me.
True.
Yeah, and if you followed that cricket thing with Menners, the comparison to American pro sports was that everyone was saying his career trajectory is literally like Lenny Dykstra. Like, he was a star for a short period of time, and then after he retired, his career, like, he's got caught up in all these drug scandals and arrests and sex scandals, and he seems like
awesome,
a super fuck up.
Wow.
So great get for Menners, I guess.
Sweet. He'd fit in over here.
So they do talk about, the Cullen episode for a while. There are themes of it throughout the episode, but then they transition. They start to get into a little bit of movie theater talk. I don't know if you guys felt this when you were re-listening, but it felt like when they were talking about movies and movie theaters, it was sort of like a prelude to them getting into the drive-in stuff, which ultimately led to them doing the Sacco show, which eventually became a recurring event every year for the Minifans. I'm not sure. Did you guys have a similar line of thinking when you heard that stuff?
I did not.
No, I didn't make that connection myself, but it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Maybe I was thinking about what was it? What was the Clemmer one there?
His movie podcast.
Yeah, what the heck was that?
Theater,
Everyday fucking
theater near me.
movies.
Had a theater near me.
Theater near me. Yep.
Near me, yeah.
That's where it started from.
At the time, there was real doubt about movie theaters ever coming back because it was, like I said, middle of COVID lockdowns. There was a lot of doubt about a lot of different industries, with that whole made-up disease. Anyway, so yeah, a little bit of movie theater talk.
Based.
He did. Here's another nugget. He said that the next time they did something like Cullen, it would have to be some sort of video production or something like that. And he mentioned that he had a legitimate actor that was a fan of the show.
Yeah,
obviously
that
right?
would be in for that. Now, I don't. Obviously, he was talking about Greg Poehler, right?
Had to be.
Oh,
yes.
I was thinking about the guy from EEI that used to come on. That was the radio guy with the
Tangway.
great voice. Tangway was the first guy I thought of.
I saw Tangway.
Because he was in Chappaquiddick and then a couple other things.
He's been in Knives Out. He's been in a lot of big productions.
Knives Out, that's what it was. I just came across it on my camera roll. I took a picture of him because I was watching that movie and I was like, oh my God, it's Gary Tangway. I sent it to my brother-in-law. But no, he's definitely talking about Poehler there.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I guess I just overlooked him.
Poehler just wrote a script, like a one-act play, right? About Mustache, I think.
Yes.
That was a KMS historian shared it. It was 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Oh, well, is that what that was?
Yeah, on this day today, 2 years ago, he wrote the hair lip, the hair lip story. People forget in this story that Mutt thought a mustache was called a hair lip. That might have been the best part.
That is the best part. That is the dumbest, stupidest, muddiest part. It's crazy that he thought that. I thought he was going to bring that up on Pick Central because he was telling that story. I was like, oh, is this the hair lip thing? And then he didn't say it. That's right.
Fucking Mutt. It's like his mother drank when he was in the womb or something. For Christ's
Oh,
sake.
dumb, yeah.
It happens to the best of us, you know.
Brando.
No disrespect, Brando.
Yeah, sorry if I hit close to home. My bad.
Brando appears to be a great sport about it.
You got to be when you mean.
Yeah, I didn't even know. So, I mean, it would have been a better joke to say if I knew.
It's unconfirmed. It's unconfirmed, but I mean.
Oh, okay. All right.
Probably assumed, right?
So, yeah, PRC.
It's got to be polar. Yeah, just listen to it again.
Yeah.
It has to be polar. Like, hold on.
I'm not going to give any names
Denzel?
away.
I thought he was coming in to
Because this is
pile
not a bad
on.
guess. I'll look at the camera and make a Jim face. Not a bad guess. I'm not going to say yes or no, but a legitimate name.
Wow.
Said he would play a role in it. And he said it was great. Look, some people may disagree.
Yeah, what do we know? You know,
fucking idiots. But hey, what are you going to do?
Don't forget, Greg was still in his like KMS closet back then. He
Yeah, was he even like brought up or anything? Like he wasn't, right? At this point,
He was the actor friend was mentioned like that on and off occasionally for a long time, and then eventually he came, like I said, come out of the closet, and he's
Did you watch any of his highlights? He had like transferred all his VHS tapes and started putting highlights up on Twitter, and he was a really good player. He was a lefty. He could really go to the hoop quite well. He was a good player.
Do you think before like he made it, like, do you think like Amy, like, here's like $500,000 like for Christmas or something? Like, how do you think that really works? Like, does she give him money? Like, do you accept the money?
So.
Like, how the fuck does that work?
My guess would be that if they did family trips, she would just pay for it all.
Yeah, fly everybody everywhere. Yeah, that's
so
what I
she
think.
had like, so if she had $50 million in the bank, she wouldn't like one day, like if her brother wasn't as rich as her, like write a check for $1 million or something like that. I don't know.
Judging by how Polar thinks about her and talks about her, I don't think she did that. No,
that's a great point. Great point.
He was also, was he not an attorney before he transitioned into being an actor?
I thought, he was.
I think you're right. That rings a bell.
Attorney might be right. I thought he was an accountant for some reason, but
something like made a decent living.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is funny about the clips he's posting on Twitter, because I tweeted, congratulations, you got Legacy Box as a Christmas present. So he's sending all his VHS tapes, from the 90s to get them digitalized. Which is pretty cool. So I appreciate that.
He's a nice guy. He's reached out to me privately, like after I've gone on the show, and be like, "Hey, great job," and I was like,
"Oh, nice."
Yeah, no, he's a really nice guy.
We know that's how you judge people. So
of course, absolutely. What do you want me to lie like everybody else?
I love when Greg's on the show. I think he's a really funny guy. I think he vibes really well with Mike, but I think he gets the show and he likes to laugh, and I enjoy that when that guy's on the show.
It'd be nice if he lived in this country. He could, participate a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the Montante,
it'd be nice if there was a show.
the debate was
in what?
Well, when the show was on,
incredible.
Yeah, no, that debate was.
It was a good,
legitimately awesome.
Yeah, it was. Tons of fun.
He got fucking smoked.
Yeah.
And again, for those new fans watching, before the 2024 presidential election, Mike Montante debated Greg Polar live in studio. Obviously, Montante was on the Trump side, Polar was on the Harris side, and it was historic.
Was it Harris? It was Harris by then, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
I think they made the switcheroo.
Yeah, it was.
Speaking of presidential politics, so this show also came out, I think it was the day after the Biden rape accusation. I think Biden was accused
that's right.
of sexual assault from somebody. And so he had this big interview with Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe. And obviously Steve was all riled up. He had clips ready to go. He was and Kirk was like, so how are they going to do it? They're going to pretend that Biden has physical issues. He's mentally unfit. How is he going to drop out? It was just assumed that like this is the death knell. He's going to drop out. then of course he goes on to become the fucking president and be the president for 4 more years before he actually drops out in the next election for, old age or whatever we want to call it.
It was funny to hear Kirk talk about just the madness of electing a guy as infirm as he was, and why would anybody ever in their right mind elect this guy? It's insane. Clearly, they're going to get rid of him. Can you imagine what he's going to be like in 4 years?
Yeah.
And it was all true.
He was ahead of the curve on that, I guess.
Yeah.
I also had absolutely no recollection of the allegations or anything like that. When they first were talking about it, I was like, I don't know what the hell this is.
Yeah, do you know why that is? It has nothing to do with your brain. It's because every single
mainstream
fucking
media.
person that we elect or whatever, it seems like every single one of them has a fucking rape thing in their past. It's insane. It's fucking insane. It's crazy. That was my big takeaway. It's like, oh yeah, like another one that's got another rape thing. That's just crazy.
Also, Brando, you don't remember it because it was swept under the rug pretty damn quick.
Yep.
Right.
That's how it works on when you're talking about politicians at that level, if the media is on their side.
Yep.
So.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to be learning if the war.
You want the Kirk clip or the Joe Biden stuff?
Sure.
I'm just gonna throw stuff in there instead of coming in. I think
I want to see your face. I want to fucking see your face every time, and I want to hear your voice.
It's kind of anticipatory when all of a sudden we go to 5 boxes.
You can watch the Big Boys Breakfast Club at 8:30 on Mondays.
Thank you. Good.
Shout out
great,
to Fonz.
Great new show on the Fonz Network.
Thank you.
To be a pulpit politically, but I am, after listening this morning, endorsing Joe Biden. I just think he's the right guy for the job. Holy shit! Put this way: you have Kevin Clancy weighing in politically, saying he didn't do a good job.
Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
Well, sure, I don't think it's. So, does he? What when they have the press release? Whenever, what are they, health reasons? What are they going to say? Stress.
So they put out a press release before.
Nice now.
And when they were first talking about it, I was thinking this was after he was like showing all the signs at the debate when he debated Trump, and it was obvious like he was out of it. But this is like
that was 4 years
before,
later,
right? Yeah.
Well, so yeah, he had the accusations, and then after that, he went on Morning Joe to do the interview, and in that interview, he sounded like he didn't know what he was talking about, right? Because they played clips from the interview, and he obviously. He's like, no, I'm not gonna like personally judge her, and then he's like, but where, like, what are the facts? Like, he
question her motive.
Totally,
I'm not going to question her motive. I'm not going to question her motives.
Totally contradicting himself, which
what the fuck is he? I'm not defending that fucking senile nitwit, but what the fuck is he supposed to say? Honestly,
believe all women. I thought it was believe all women.
It's like you're fucked either way. Believe all women. It's like
that was one of Mika's questions. Should we believe all women unless they're talking about you?
right. And Kamala saw that and realized she was in the same place, and that's why she hid.
Yeah. So moving on. So that was a very funny part. So
no,
there
I
were
want it to be politics.
There were a lot of things I noticed in this episode that seemed like it was the first time it was brought up. One of those things was they talked about Mamma Mia's pizza. I don't know if you guys caught this, but like. Kirk was like, is it good pizza? Mike's like, it's okay. and that's the first time they brought up Mamma Mia's pizza. And then a couple weeks later, they actually did the episode where they shit on Mamma Mia's pizza and said it kills people.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting little nugget, looking back on it. Did anybody catch that?
Yeah, it became poison.
This was pre-death Mamma Mia's because Kirk wanted to deliver to the studio so he could try it.
I didn't know if it was the very first time or if they had just like briefly talked about it before, but obviously it was way before all, it was before all the major stuff.
Yeah, but they were referring back to something because that was Kirk was already giving Mike a hard time for referring to it as decent. He was like, "Oh, it's supposed to be his best friend."
Yeah.
I thought Mike was getting a bad rap there. I thought decent actually meant it was pretty good. I didn't think that he was
Oh
equaling
yeah.
the quality of the pizza. I thought he was trying to give it a good rating, and then Kirk twisted it on him.
This was peak defensive Mike too. Like
I was gonna
there's a
say
couple
he
times in
sounds
this episode. Yeah, go
he
ahead.
sounds like a different person.
Yeah.
He's so insecure at this point, and he has almost no confidence. He just sounds like kind of like a little mouse. It's crazy. It's crazy how far Mike has come and completely turned it around.
Well, a couple things. This was before Mike left to, go,
Yeah.
get himself,
Yep.
straightened out mentally and all that stuff.
Fencing.
And there was a point later in the show when a caller brings up that Mike, blocked a bunch of people on Twitter, and Mike was like
Yeah,
laughing it
defense.
off, awkwardly defensive, like, "No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Yeah, it's a joke." So he wasn't quite, his confident self yet. So that's a good catch.
Yeah, that's my favorite Mike.
PRC.
Yep. Mamma Mia this is kind of shows the defensive part.
You guys on it?
If it plays. Mike,
Yeah, totally.
these storms are terrible.
Oh no.
It would
Is it the Warthog?
Nobody's ever
Money for
Warthog
a
family?
Kirk Minahan piece of
Yeah, he's a warthog. He's helped out.
Nobody's ever sold.
I mean, Mike's just like best friend. He's like, yeah, maybe it travels all right. I mean, I'm giving you. This is like this is
I don't
at some
wanna
point
falsely
100,000
advertise.
people will listen to this.
Go to Carver. Mamma Mia's in Carver.
Oh, Steve is not
Check
like
it
this.
out.
Steve is like so repulsed right now.
No, it's because anytime you're like, oh, so how'd that thing you cooked come out? I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Oh, you always say it's good.
Who I
If you
say
say
that?
the pizza's good, you can criticize. If you say it's decent, you
Right.
get
Well, it's his
criticized.
best friend. I'm giving him free advertising on this show.
Oh, that's true.
And Mike's like, it's decent. Does it travel?
Decent means good.
Who
It's not-
knows? Who knows?
He doesn't want to be in violation of the Plagola Act. He's
Yeah, we're not-
Steve, fucking Steve, the Pagola Act.
Nobody knows what the fuck that means, Steve.
Yes, we did.
Lagola.
When you're plugging a business for free, so you get
Oh, okay.
kickbacks or whatever, you get free
All right.
pizza.
Aquaboggin.
Famously, like
Exactly.
Davio's, stuff like that. They don't advertise
Right.
with the station, but you talk nice about him, and then he brings you out for a dinner.
They
Whatever.
talked about it on this episode, right?
Yeah.
Yes, good catch.
The
So
Cheetos.
about 2 hours in, about an hour in, they get to a couple parody songs. The first, this must have been right after the Moss Dudley stuff came out, because the first parody song was basically a parody of Moss Dudley and what he did with Patricia Minahan back in
What
the
did he
70s.
do? What did he do?
What didn't he do?
That wasn't pretty good. That was Dr. Jingle. That was oh no, Dr. Jingle did the rap. That was a pretty good parody song. I like that.
Yeah, that was good. I
Hard
liked
to
it.
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, when there's a parody song and I don't know who it's by, half of me thinks always oh, that must have been Kevin from Bristol. With all the sex jokes.
That wasn't his voice.
Yeah.
The
it was good.
material, maybe, yeah.
Both of them were good. They weren't top 10 all time or anything like that, but not everyone's gonna be. They were
Right.
just good. I think the first one was better, the one you're referencing, but they were both good.
The hip hop one is good. I thought it was really good, but Kirk does not care really for hip hop, so it never gets a lot of love.
The Tupac, because that was a Tupac song, if I remember correctly. That one just didn't hit. The lyrics didn't hit as hard as maybe if it went first, and maybe it would have been better received. But that was a tough act to follow.
That was Dr. Jingle. He's the guy that did the the Beatles song. Who was the guy that? Never mind. I can't remember.
John Denver?
No.
So the funny thing about the second song is that the whole premise of it is that it's shitting on Menners. So here, second time in the show, 6 years ago, shitting on Menners. The theme just doesn't go away. And because it was a hip hop song, that's when Kirk was like, my hip hop is a little limited. Why don't you play some funky Cold Medina? And so they pull that up. And I feel like that sort of got the show humming in a way where the way they played Funky Cold Medina, Kirk basically sang along to every single lyric. And what he did was set the stage for this song being problematic. And if you haven't re-listened, this song, the whole premise was that Funky Cold Medina was he's drugging girls by slipping something in their drink, and that helps the guy get laid or whatever. So
what Kane jerks off to. That's what Kane jerks off to. Don't forget that.
Self-admitted.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's what you guys are here for. So, any takeaways on like the way they presented the Funky Cold Medina song and how they sort of broke it down? I thought, speaking of genius, like the way he did it was pretty genius.
It did crack me up that none of them knew it. That Steve or Mike didn't know that that's what it was. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, other than that, no, I was a little surprised that Mike was completely unfamiliar with it, but that was about it.
Tone Loc, I believe Ace Ventura Pet Detective, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely.
And that's pretty much it. Also interesting, that song obviously could never be, maybe today it could come out, but not like, I don't know, 8 years ago. It definitely couldn't.
No. I know, what a weird song.
What an odd song. But again, it was definitely in jest, because if anyone remembers Tone Loc from that time, that's part of the reason he was involved in the comedy scene, is because he also kind of joked around a lot about stuff. Like I believe he had skits like a lot of rappers did at that time in between songs that tried to be comedic, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? Like on the album?
Yeah, like, so a lot of times, it'd be like some like gangster scene where someone's getting shot or something like that. And then sometimes it'd be like something like Dre used to try and put funny ones in there back in the day.
Yeah. Fake radio things and stuff like that.
Yeah. So,
and like Eminem put ones in where he was like, drunk.
Killing people. Yeah.
I think Tone Loc did that as well. And I think he had like Funky Cold Medina. Obviously, it's a silly song. Like it's fucked up, but it's meant to be funny too. You know what I mean? Sick sense of humor, which obviously we all have.
Well, and that old school hip hop that's that old was much less about, violence and different stuff like that, and more about just kind of fucking around, and they took it a lot less serious,
Yeah, so I reached out to our local Billboard chart expert, Billboard chart guy, to get his take on the song, and he said that the song reached number 3 on the charts in '89, and that the song when it came out was not viewed as controversial at all. So I guess that the people received it as a comedic rendition, and he also said that there were 8 different samples used in the song, which I don't know shit about music, but that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like the main guitar riff was from Hot Blooded by Foreigner.
Oh yeah. And Steve was right, by the way, when he says on the show that beat from Funky Cold Medina has been used in like commercials and shit for years.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tone Loc's made some money off that, hopefully.
That was a Parliament Funkadelic sample.
Oh, so he had to pay for that.
So George Clinton probably made money off that.
Yeah. Fuck.
The beginning of the song, it reminds me of the song "It's Tricky." If you
Run DMC.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like very sort of similar.
What year? 89.
That's about 89, the same-ish.
Yeah, so like that's early rap days. Like what we consider rap, that's early days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So a few more nuggets to get into. I want to be respectful of everyone's time.
Fuck them.
So we'll get into the calls, right? So the last hour of the show is basically all calls. They used to let the calls go every single day, so people were prepared. They had their stuff ready. Kingpin Pete calls into the show, and this is the first. This is the first time we hear that he doesn't know anything about movies, and he's like, "Hey, can you recommend one movie that I should go watch from before like 2000,
from the 20th century?" Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys caught on to that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was kind of a funny little thing. He would call back in over the years and say that he had watched this, or he had watched that. He wanted another one.
Yeah. I watched Schindler's List. It was good. Give me another one or whatever.
Right. Just the way you pose a question. Anything before the year 2000 or something like that. Just the way you pose the question. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Anything from the 1900s.
Yeah, he said he had seen a couple Adam Sandler movies. He said Spaceballs, Inception.
Star Wars.
He's an interesting guy, that Kingpin Pete.
For sure. And as they're taking calls, someone calls in and he's like, "Hey, I wanted to talk." And Kirk pretends to screen the call. And he's like, "What do you want to talk to Kirk about?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to tell him, compare him to Howard Stern, blah, blah, blah." He's like, all right. 1 second. Let me cue you up. All right, 781, you're on. What do you got? Which he's done over the years, and it's just a funny old radio thing. Make it caller look stupid, I guess.
Do we have if we could play one of the clips, one of the calls?
Ooh,
I don't know how
you're
hard
on.
it would be for PRC to grab it, but the clip
What do you want?
The one with Blind Mike's dad.
Oh,
so
that was classic.
Like, if
You
we
know
could
about
get
what
that-
time that was?
Unfortunately, I don't. What a bad fucking guest I am. I'm sorry.
Middle of the call
It's all right.
somewhere.
It's
The
all
call
right. Don't worry
started
about it.
halfway
Last
through.
hour.
Yeah, don't
Where
worry
is
about it.
I got the
I'd say-
Kingpin Pete on the internet, or yeah.
Don't worry about it for now.
Before that?
Yeah, don't worry
Never
about
mind,
it.
Yeah. All right.
If you can find it, we'll come back to it, but don't worry about it. So
right.
something else that one the calls took, I forget how it came up, but they started talking about snacks and chips. And I think this is Kirk Minahan's worst take of all time. He gives his Mount Rushmore of chips. And he says
Munchos.
original Doritos, Munchos, baked Lay's, and Fritos. I don't know about you guys, but that is a horrible Mount Rushmore of chips.
I'm a big baked Lay's guy. I agree with him
Oh, really?
100%. The baked Lay's are way better than the original. The original are way too salty. The baked Lay's they got that snap to them. They're great. And I'm a Munchos guy in general. So I mean,
Oh God, no.
it wasn't my top 4, but I could get with it.
I can
Fritos
live
are
with
kinda just
I can live with Doritos, but give me some like kettle cooked barbecue chips. Give me something good.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm Fritos.
Seriously? Are you
Fritos for sure. Cool Ranch Doritos. And then, yeah, I don't know where I would go after that. But Munchos, I was very surprised how into Munchos.
Fritos aren't in my top 20.
Oh, wow.
Fritos? No.
Fritos are my top 2.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
name me 20 chips?
How long do you have?
We'll take that offline.
I feel like the home run hitters.
But anyway, so that leads into him talking about Dino and his Cheetos story. And so they actually call John Dennis. And I thought the funniest takeaway from that is John Dennis his wife answers the phone. She gives it to him. He's like, "Who's this?" "Hey, it's Kirk." "Oh, hey, Kirk. Hey, good morning, friends. How are we?" Because he had put, he's like, I've got a roofer here and I can't hear anything.
And a landscaper, yeah.
Because he, I guess, brought Cheetos into the studio back, when it was the Dennis and Callahan show, and he had never even heard of Cheetos up
But
until
it
that.
wasn't nearly the story that you're making it out to be right now, and that Kirk was making it out to be. It was the crunchy Cheetos versus the puffed Cheetos. It wasn't that he had never heard of Cheetos. He had just never heard of crunchy Cheetos. And at the end, Steve was like, "Oh, well, that makes a little more sense." I was glad that somebody was allowed to sort of because not hearing of Cheetos, I agree, would be shocking. But not hearing of crunchy Cheetos, I was like, all right, he's an old dude. I guess I can kind of see that.
You still live under a rock at that point, but it's not quite as egregious as just not knowing that they exist in general.
He was drunk 24/7. What the fuck can you say?
Let me see if this Cheetos clip will call. By the way, I just want to say something about Lay's. I went to Walmart today to pick up some Lay's, and they're like $6 for like a 13-ounce bag now.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. So
thanks, Biden.
And those gas prices.
That's right.
Well, that's our own damn fault, but here we go.
See, I got a roofer here.
Oh,
I got the
okay.
people here, and I can't hear a thing.
I'll talk to you later, but can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
Do you remember, we were just talking about this on the show. Do you remember the day you brought in Cheetos like you had never heard of them before?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
How did you not know that?
I always thought it was just those puffy ones. I had no idea the crunchy ones existed.
Oh well, that's
It
more
changed
reasonable.
my life.
It changed your life.
Changed my life.
All right, go back to the. We'll give you a call next week.
They never did call him next week. I wish they had. My favorite part of that whole thing was when Kathy answered and he said, "It's Kirk Minahan," and she went, "Ha ha ha."
Yeah.
Good to hear his voice.
Yes,
Is that what you said,
it
too?
was so great.
The one thing off of
The
this
little
is
chuckle just kills me.
it's crazy how far we've come, because this is back when Kirk was saying he didn't want to go backwards or stay the same. He was trying to go forwards. And that's why he didn't have Mutt in for a long time, because he wasn't trying to get the same people. I mean, I guess also
Yeah.
Mutt was still at EEI, so that wasn't going to work. But he didn't want to go back to these old people. But with some of these old people, you get these nuggets. Like that was just a great call with Dino and just super nostalgic.
I don't want to speak for Kirk, but I think his big thing was that he didn't want to go backwards. And I think what he means by that is he doesn't want to just have people on the show that don't give a fuck about the show. Like when people would go on his radio show that didn't give a fuck about the radio show. Where when Mutt, obviously, like you just said, he was contractually able to come on. But I think what changed for Mutt as well is when he started, contributing to the show and becoming part of the show. So that's what I think about that.
Yeah, and it's always good to hear. Like, there was only a handful of times, maybe just the once, that they called Dino. So it was very
They talked to him a couple times throughout the years.
Maybe they called him maybe a half dozen, but he might have picked up a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always good to hear. Like, it just gives you that nostalgia vibe because, Kirk did spend the first few years on air with Dino. So good stuff.
Yeah, but that was Dino's fault. Like, Kirk didn't really do anything. He was a psychopath, but he also made them number one. It's not like he really did anything wrong. That was I think even Dino would say, like, he fucked up on that a lot, too.
Yeah, and it's funny. It all comes full circle. Jerry seems to be the one that kind of wasn't happy with, the way Kirk did things,
It's all about greed with Jerry. It's all about money. It's he talks a big game, but when a push comes to shove, he'd rather shut up and take a paycheck than make waves and do what he's doing now, which is nothing, having zero impact, getting paid dick.
I think they were going in different directions too, though. At the same time, what Kirk says that obviously he wanted to joke around, fuck around, bust balls, and Jerry was much more interested in the politics and sports than Kirk was.
Yeah, so there's a few different nuggets from different callers I wanted to point out. There was a caller at one point that sounded like 10% like Clemmer, and my takeaway from that is Kirk was like, "Wait, was that Penis Head?" That's when he used to still call Clemmer Penis Head. Which it was another good bit of nostalgia listening back.
I don't think he's changed his contact. The last we heard, I think it's still the same.
That's funny.
Harriet.
I think you're right. There's another caller that the KB caller who eventually.
I love that guy.
Oh, that fucking guy! I love him too.
During that call, I don't know if you guys caught this, but Kirk, because KB said he was staying in a hotel in Weymouth or something.
Yeah.
Kirk dropped the hotel motel, which was a callback to the old Evan Drellick. My dad lives in a motel.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught that.
I didn't catch that.
Me either.
I didn't even know who back then. I didn't even know who Nick and KB were. Like at the beginning, I had no idea until later on that they were like Barstool guys.
Yeah, and KB's a busy guy. Like, credit to him for taking the time out to call Kirk's show every once in a while.
And KB ends up getting a job at a dirt bike shop, if I remember correctly.
No, I thought Nick actually worked.
Mechanic.
Oh,
It's a dirt
okay,
bike
yes.
mechanic.
Yes, okay, that's what it was. Yes.
He was going from New York to Boston every day.
There was another conversation that spun off from the calls where they were talking briefly about the Sopranos podcast, and they're talking about Michael Imperioli, right? And he was talking about the biggest assholes in Hollywood that he had met. So I thought that the irony was pretty thick there, because little did we know 2 years later, after Kirk interviewed Imperioli, It turns out Kirk hated him because he was one of the biggest assholes in Hollywood.
Very
He just looks like
standoffish.
an asshole. He looks like an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
he
just
thinks he's,
disappointing.
an artist, right?
Right. Well, I think sometimes it's like that. I forget exactly how the phrase go, but when the when the actor becomes a character, or at least thinks he is, I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, what do you mean? How could he be? How could he be stupid? I don't even understand the premise of your question. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's like I think there's this line where you get a lot of like cool actors that aren't mega successful, and then it's like you get the guys like him who are bitter, and that's why they're assholes, and then you got like the top echelon who are assholes, and there's like a lot of chill people in between. But yeah, he's a one-trick pony, and I think it gives him nightmares at night.
And Steve mentioned several times during the calls, he's like, "Oh, there's been over 4,000 calls into the show today."
I heard that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was an interesting tidbit. I don't think they're getting 4,000 calls on a phone call Friday these days.
Well, that's like a lot. That's like 40 people calling 100 times each, right? I'm guessing.
Well, that math doesn't
One
work.
guy
Run
did
that
say
back.
call
Run that
82
back. Run that back.
times.
But I understand what you're saying. Yes.
If I just have one comment on that,
Yes, it does.
I think you got to like put yourself in
know, the math
the
does.
pandemic era when you're getting 4,000 calls. Like there was 100,000 people watching fucking marble races back then. Like anybody would do anything.
Nothing to
during
do.
that time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Fact check. The math does work out, Brando. Thank you. Good work.
How many times 100 works? What are you talking about?
Another call brought up Sassy Snacks, which I think was the first time that he talked about Sassy Snacks, or one of the first times. R.I.P.
Oh, and bullshit! It's not sexual for him. That's a crock of shit. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
Did he say she had already passed at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she had it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate that whispering stuff.
Not my thing.
Well,
me neither.
It's not for everybody, but so there was also a call near the end where the guy really did not like Cullen. He did not like the Cullen episode.
Oh yeah,
He thought it was
live sketch that went on too long.
SNL sketch went on too long. Did you guys have any takeaways from? It was like a classic fight, between Kirk and a caller. I'm not sure if you guys what you thought about it.
I got tired of it pretty quickly. Actually, I thought the guy was just being silly.
He was just being a dick, kind of like Kirk called out. He's one of these guys, like a Sneakers, who pretends to hate the show, but they secretly love it. They're in the chat, all this stuff, but they hate everything. But they're always listening. I think it too shows where he was at mentally. I think he's in a little better place now, and he gets affected by that stuff a little bit less than he did back then. Because I think it got to him, definitely got to him more back then.
I just don't understand the mentality of. I've never watched something that I hated or even participated in a community that I hate. This is the only type of thing I've ever really participated in. I just can't imagine like what a pathetic, lonely, like miserable existence. If you truly hate watch something, like what the fuck is your personal life like? Like what the fuck is your home life like? Like do you have like a wife or kids or a husband or whatever? Like Jesus Christ. If you're calling into the Kirk Minahan show to tell Kirk Minahan that the Cullen episode sucked, like fuck dude, you better call BetterHelp. That's all I gotta say. You got fucking problems.
Well, and then whining about Mike and how he screwed Mike over on the pay and bringing up other stuff like that.
I didn't remember that, what he was referring to, and I didn't get that part.
There was some negotiation. Was Erica on the phone with Kirk with Mike there, like a three-way?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
Thing?
Yeah, that did happen a couple times.
He was grasping for straws at something to argue with Kirk about, I think, at the time. I'll say this about that caller. If you listen back to that call, now, I'm not making any accusations, but that caller sounds exactly like Bill Leach.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you what.
God, Bill.
I'll tell you what. I reached out to Bill Leach to say, "Hey, here's the episode. Here's the timestamp. Was this you?" And I'm not going to say what he replied with, but like, I'm just saying, it's something worth listening.
What is that?
Something worth going back.
No. You what did he say?
He said it wasn't him.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. Bill Leach hates Kirk Minahan. You heard it here first. Freddie Lynn just fucking blew him up.
That would have been a hell of a turnaround. I mean, wow.
Bill is the nicest man in the history of the fucking world. What the fuck are we doing here?
Oh,
He
wow.
hates
It's
Kirk Minahan.
Off the top rope.
Yeah, he's my partner. I'll fucking die for Bill Leach.
Freddie Lynn said it. Bitch at Freddie, not me.
The little hot dog boy.
Listen to the voice in the call. Listen to Bill. There's a lot of similarities. I'll just say that.
You told me to listen for a Bill Leach type call, and nobody sounds anything like Bill Leach. One person kind of did, but they said they have a house in Vermont.
Are you biased?
Fuck yes, but still.
Thank you.
Yeah, this Bill Leach slander is ridiculous. This is fucked up.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here soon. One final call, a fitting final call to the episode was Jerry's uncle. He called in and he was talking about how Jerry's dead or whatever. He was a great character in the Cullen episode. So I actually think that Steve had that in his back pocket. I think he had the private line and he was saving him for last. But I'm not sure if you guys also thought that was a fitting final call or what your takeaway was.
I thought it was convenient. I also thought it's funny how he was such a good caller at the beginning, or maybe that it hadn't gotten old, the whole Jerry's uncle thing, and it was pretty good early in the show.
Yeah,
and now it's kind of like, yeah. Oh, and Andy learned that guy was a dick, right? So that kind of ruined it.
We did. Right? That was like the spilled coffee falling lady thing, right at the
yeah
at the
5K. Yeah.
He was mad because Kirk didn't help an old lady up that fell. Is that what it was?
Like that. Yeah.
Can you imagine being Kirk Minahan outside of a handful of live shows and a couple pay-per-views he's been involved with? Every single thing you've ever done in your life has been free that you've given. You haven't charged your fans really for fucking anything. And you get these ungrateful fucking cunts calling into your show. It must be, and especially he's a psychopath. So he must he must have to restrain himself from contacting a private investigator and being like, I'm going to drop 10 grand to find out who this motherfucker is. It's insane. The people that bust his balls, and he's done this whole thing for free.
I guarantee you Steve was reverse Googling some of those phone numbers to see.
Oh, for sure. Especially back then.
Yeah.
So that's all I had on the episode. Thank you guys for joining. Do you guys have anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to bring up or discuss before we call it a night?
No, I'm good.
I
I'm
think
shocked
so.
about the Bill Leach.
Yeah. It was funny to hear Adam the Jew. Hadn't heard from him in many, many years, actually.
Yep.
Since he and Sheldon had the show with Ned Snark, I think. That was pretty funny.
It was 22 days before the Memorial 5K, the Dave Portnoy Memorial 5K.
Oh, yeah,
That was fun. I did the 5K. I had a blast at that. That was cracked me up. Yeah, they were. Kirk was a really talk about giving it away for free, right? It was so great. Those three idiots kept showing up each day and giving us a show every morning, over and over and over, and 4 hours sometimes.
Give me one. I'm not just saying this to be a kiss ass. Legitimately, between everyone here, including the Bill Leach defender that we can't see right now, give me one other person.
He's a goddamn saint.
That's not what I heard. Blame Freddie. Give me one other person that's done as much shit, put as much hours out there as he, that's done it for free. I can't fucking think of one other person. I really can't.
Definitely not Jess Machado, for sure.
Ooh. Kane Train, that was Freddie.
Yeah, do you have any? Do you have anything to say about Kane, Freddie, before we sign off?
Yeah, I mean, he chose his path. He's now a pupil of Jess Machado. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's trying to be a YouTuber and monetize it. And she's putting up tweets. She put up a tweet the other day where it was a screenshot of her video, and she circled her views. It was like 7,000. She circled his views. It was like 5,000. But his video was only 2 hours old, and her video was 8 hours old. Go check the video views now, and he has surpassed her. And she's like, no notes. Well, where are the notes now, motherfucker? Like, he passed you.
It was like 5,700 to 5,400 actually, and it's totally irrelevant anyway. It's just ridiculous.
She's trying to get more people like Kane to, go to her side of the fence. So,
right.
Fun, Kane. Like, be my guest. Have a good time. God bless you.
Oh, Kane, well, the next live show, please, for the love of God, don't be standing in the fucking entryway live on whatever the fuck you're doing. Please, please, please.
Jake's channel.
Please, just don't. Please, I'm begging you.
And Steve, I know you don't
It's
follow
tradition
this,
at this point.
but Jess Machado's fan base, they call themselves the Bunnies. So Kane now considers himself a bunny. So I told him he has to wear bunny ears to the next live show that he goes to.
Well, the good thing for her is that unless she passes out, she's never has to worry about him trying to fuck her or anything. That's the good thing for her. So it's a positive.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, seriously, thank you guys for joining. We got to do this more often. Hopefully, we sneak another one in before the Laconia show pops up here in a few months. I enjoyed this. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Thank you for
thanks for having me, man. I love listening to old shows.
Yeah.
Let's do it again before June. Yeah, I think we can manage to squeeze in at least one more before June.
Yes. Thank you, PRC, for producing.
Yep.
I'll be in Laconia too. Hope to see everybody there. If anybody has any Bill Leach hate, they can direct it to me there, and I'll gladly talk to him about it.
We know Bill Leach won't be there. That's the one thing we know. Thank you.
Yeah, he hates Kirk Minahan. We've discussed it tonight.
Well, Bill,
we'll all talk. All five of us at Laconia.
Bill is on that committee. He's going to be locked in the room with me.
Oh, is he?
We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
All right, Freddie, boys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and Freddie, you're not making that list. Have a good night, folks.
Yeah, call me anytime, Freddie. I'll do it again.
Nor should I, Steve. Thanks, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
What's happening, Jerry?
Jerry is dead.
What?
No.
Jerry is dead, Kirk. He's fucking dead.
What happened?
I didn't answer the phone.
Could be.
He developed